Oh, hey all, Darklight 74 here. Had a lot of requests on the way my drum kit is set up, software, how I built them, etc, etc. So this will be the first of a few videos. This one basically going to be covering the software side of things, so we won't muck around, we'll just get straight into it. Sorry about the video quality, I'm no video guru, so there's no monitors and stuff that I'm going to be able to show you and all that. I'll just have to tell you, take my word for it. Anyway, what I'm running is a Tama Rockstar DX drum kit that I've converted to electric. Basically it runs into two Alesis trigger I/O units. The reason I use those is because they have 10 inputs that are stereo channels, which makes them 20, so two of them gives you 40. I'm an Iron Maiden freak. Nico's my favourite drummer, and I've built up an Iron Maiden drum kit, so you need as many inputs as you can get to have all the cymbals and rah, so that's what I've gone with. It's running into Reaper, whatever version you want to use. I find Reaper is probably the most user-friendly of all of them. It's just sort of drag and drop and really easy to navigate. And then from there running into Easy Drummer, and then what I use now is Superior Drummer 2. Didn't bother about 3, it's too much of a mind fuck. So I use basically Metal Machine, and that's the DAW that the SDX that I like to use in there. Basically, people have said that you can only use one trigger I/O unit. That's not true. What you got to do is you have to go into the settings of Reaper. You have to go to the MIDI section, and you have to enable your MIDI devices. So when you first turn it on, it'll come up and it'll say MIDI devices, and it'll say 2 trigger I/Os as long as they're plugged into the USB. One will always be ticked because it recognises the first one, but the second one you have to tick it, press OK, and you're away. From there, if you know how to work Superior Drummer 2, it's just really bloody easy, believe it or not. A friend of mine, I said I'll load it up on your computer, and mate, a couple of clicks and you're away, you're going, and it's just all too much of a confusion for him, so I'm yet to do that, and well, I put it on his computer, but I've got to show him how to work it. So basically it's a really easy setup. What I did find with the trigger I/Os is because they're a stereo channel, they tend to pick up 2 signals if you use a stereo cable. If you use just a single cable, I don't think I've got one handy. Yes, I have, but I've got one here. You use a single cable, just like that, not a stereo one with the double, it'll pick up one signal. There you can adjust, what you want, your velocities, etc, etc. Because what it does is, if you pick up 2 signals, sometimes it'll pick up the instrument you want that you've dedicated it to, but then it may pick up a cymbal as well, so when you're hitting it and trying to assign your velocities and everything to it, it's confusing itself, and it'll say you've got a velocity of 10, you hit the drum again and it'll skip between them, it'll say 16 or something, and it's a real pain in the ass when you're playing a song, because you hit your tom and you'll hear it's bloody annoying. So my suggestion is to use a single cable. The other thing is, with standard drum modules, Yamaha, Roland, Rara, whatever, Alesis, they have their own drivers in them, and they when you turn them on, they're essentially drum modules. So the time it takes for you to hit the drum to go through the cables, through the module, through the USB to the computer is instant. It's it's flawless. It's really good. Trigger I/Os, on the other hand, they've got a little bit of latency. And I watched Mikey, VPT I think it is, say that you had to use this is a good setup, and you could use Presonus Firebox. Now, I tried this, and I don't think I could set it up right. It might be me, some other people, it may work for them. What I found was the easiest was to download ASIO for All, ASIO for ALL. That's a driver that dedicates itself to electric drummers on the net, and it basically gives you no latency. You can adjust your buffer level down and get right down. The only problem with that is it tends to rape the audio off everything. So for argument's sake, you can't open Reaper and then open VLC Media Player, because Reaper has stolen the ability of the audio of the computer. Without ASIO for all, of course it'll do the both of them, but when that driver's installed, it is assigned to one DAW. But in saying that, once you're in Reaper, you can drag and drop a song into Reaper and play along with it, on separate tracks. It's hard to explain, because it's not hard to explain. I just can't show you because I don't have the video equipment. Basically, you've got your first track here, and that is your drums, your Superior Drummer 3 and all that sort of thing. When you first open Reaper, it'll ask you what you want to use, and you say Easy Drummer or Superior Drummer, depending on what's installed. I put in Superior Drummer, it loads it up, and bang, it's there. And you've got your next track, and all you do is you go to track at the very top of a page, and when it brings down, you just do add new track, and it puts a track underneath it. From there, you open up your file, wherever your songs are, and you just drag your song over to that track. Make sure you get it right to the beginning. If it's out a little bit, it'll, when you press play, it'll pause quite a distance until the song's there. So try and get it up as far as you can. And from there, you can jam along to it. It'll record it on its own. Sometimes, depending on how you set your EQs and for each individual, because remember, Superior Drummer's got its own mixer and everything, you can get some bloody good sounds out of it. I've spent hours on my snare and hi-hats, and I'm really happy with it. There's a lot of room for improvement, but it's pretty good at the moment. That's pretty much all there is to it. When it comes to doing recordings, I've got a computer. I've built my own little stage thing, and underneath is where my computer is. Now what I do is I go audio out of that, and I have a split channel, and one will go to the stereo or the PA, or you plug your headphones in, whatever you're using at the time. The other one will go to your video device. And I've tried many things, little camcorders, and they must have a mic in, obviously, because you can't use the mic that it comes with, because you get all the rest of the noises and everything, and you want to get the pure sound. So that goes into a device which is a mic in. In my case, I'm using the Samsung S8. To do this, you have to buy an adapter off eBay worth about $7 or $9 or something, and it's got a 4-pin plug. You plug that into the Samsung, and then you plug your audio device into that, and voila, there you go. You real time. It's and the other videos that I've got on my YouTube page. What was it? The other thing I was going to say. Bloody train of thoughts, I've forgotten that now. All right, without the cable, it doesn't work. Of course, when this actually got me to set it up was quite tricky. What you got to do is you got to have your Samsung wherever you're putting it on a stand or wherever, and you have to turn the camera on first. That's the first thing you do, and then you go to video, not photo or anything. You go to video, and with this little adapter you've got, while the camera is up and running, not recording, just on, you have to plug the first adapter into it, without the other cable into it, and then you grab your little red plug, then you plug it into that. That's the sequence you have to do to make it work. Then you press record, you're away. You do it any other way, like if you don't turn the camera on and you just plug the both of them in and then turn camera on, won't work. For some reason it just doesn't work. When you've got it on, this bypasses the internal mic and makes it work. And trust me, it took me ages to work this out. I tried it with an iPhone, I tried it with all sorts of things, and emailed Samsung, rah. In the end, this was the only way it worked, and I've done that every time, and it's been flawless. So that's pretty much the makeup of the software side of things. I'm probably going to do another couple of videos later on. I'm pretty bored today, it's pretty hot. And I'll cover some cymbals and drums and how I did them, and get an idea of how it works. It's really, really easy. Trust me, it's really easy. I wish I had done it a long time ago. So I'll say bye for now, and I'll come back and let you know how I did the drums. Okay, thanks.